Again with the quarterfinal today. England 1, France 2. The reigning world champions march on to the semifinals, getting closer and closer to winning a back-to-back title. England bow out. Gareth Southgate's future now a matter of uncertainty. So, where to start? I think the most important player for France, both in this game and throughout this whole World Cup, has been Antoine Griezmann. Pulling the strings in midfield, his work rate has been second to none on this French side. From the moment that France kicked off the group stage against Australia, the kind of role that Griezmann has played in this team, while not one of being a prominent goal scorer like he was in the last World Cup, certainly still one that is creating chances for his teammates. And him moving to that role, it has worked like a charm. Today, against England, not only was he continuing that role, but he was blocking lanes, he was making crucial tackles, creating passing lanes for the other French forwards up front. And he has really evolved, I think, as a player with this national team in a way where even if he himself may not grab all the headlines like Mbappe or Giroud, he has really been, I think, their most important playmaker in this tournament so far. And the reason for this is that he has become a more complete player who finds the right role to support the team as the game goes on, no matter what situation France are in. And he adapts, and he has an excellent grasp of the game itself. He reads what's going on the pitch better than anyone else, I think. And him, along with Adrien Rabiot, I think have really come into their own for this French side. Antoine, the thing about Grisou is he always comes to help out, even for France's defense. Sometimes you'll see him revert, he'll sit in deep whenever France has to ward off an oncoming attack. And when France's defense is clearly suffering, they've had moments in this World Cup where they were picked in pride at, where they were challenged. You saw against Poland. We saw that in the late stages of the match against Denmark, for example. And this guy just joins them at the right moments. Having a versatile player on the pitch that can help out in almost any position, like Antoine Griezmann, being a playmaker and having at least somewhat like cogent wherewithal to get back and help out with the defense, it's so valuable. It's so valuable. And if France is going to win this World Cup, this is going to be one of the reasons that they do. France had the better chances earlier on. In the 11th minute, Jordan Pickford was forced into a save off of Olivier Giroud's header. He managed to get that on target. Lucky not to concede there because Pickford was quick to react and get that ball. Otherwise, France go up early in the first 15 minutes of this match. And a few moments after that, England had another scare because there was a moment where Rabiot was intercepted a mistake at the back for England, and there was a cross that was over the top to Dembele, but Luke Shaw managed to cover it well just in time. And Dembele gave England a little bit of another scare. So inside the first 15 minutes, you had France were going at England and came really close to taking an early lead. And this is why teams who are adventurous, who try efforts from distance, those are the ones that succeed. Few moments after that, my goodness, Aurélien Tchouameni with an absolute rocket fires into the bottom corner from way outside the box into the right-hand corner. That's when Pickford was shit out of luck. He had no chance to get to that. And it was a goal that I think England was not anticipating because France were on the attack, but it looked for a moment like Tchouaméni was going to lay that off for somebody else. But he just decides to have a go at it, and lo and behold, it produced a vital goal that gave France the lead. So, England started to grow into the game midway through the first half. Hugo Lloris was forced into a great save from Harry Kane. And I have to give props to Hugo Lloris in this game. I think he's been the weak link for France. I don't really rate him that well as a keeper, but he had a clutch game. He made about 6 or 7 key saves in this match to prevent England from coming back into it and really taking the lead. He did that twice on efforts from goal from Harry Kane. He did that once with Jude Bellingham's effort early on in the second half. And overall, even though he was not able to keep a clean sheet yet again, something that is a little bit of an area of concern for France, inability to keep any clean sheets in this World Cup. They've now conceded 5 goals in as many matches. But this was his best performance of the tournament so far, and it came in this crucial match against a fellow heavyweight with England, who are now out of the way. 54th minute, Aurélien Tchouaméni, the hero of the first half, becomes the villain. He makes a reckless challenge in the box that on Bukayo Saka leads to England getting a penalty, and Harry Kane converts it past Hugo Lloris, his Tottenham teammate. And England were back in business. However, they did let their guard down because France were quick in transition when the ball kicked off again after it leveled 1-1, because almost immediately France retook the lead. Because France kicked off quickly, and right away, pretty immediately, Rabiot, he put in a shot on target that forced Pickford into making a save, and Pickford was livid. He had a lot of moments in this match where he was livid at his back line, but Pickford was quite upset that England had gone to sleep there a bit, because France were looking like they were going to retake the lead just seconds later, and it was very smart of France. It was very smart of France to get going quickly with that tempo after relenting their lead. England were almost punished for it. From there on in the second half, I do think England overall was the better side because they produced better chances and they looked more threatening going forward. But again, Hugo Lloris stepped up, had another save. Bukayo Saka's effort from distance, he collects that calmly. You also had another attempt from Harry Kane that was taken care of. Then you had, oh my goodness me. Then you have Harry fucking Maguire almost gives England the lead. He blasts a header, and it looks like it just grazes the outside of the post. There's a question of whether or not Hugo Lloris would have gotten a hand to that anyway, but you could see the expression on his face. He knew he missed a potentially big opportunity to potentially win this match for England, because the complexion of the game could have changed entirely. England scores that, and they take the lead, and it would prove so costly. It would prove so costly, these missed chances, because about 8 minutes later, France regains the lead. In the 77th minute, 1 minute prior, Giroud has a volley that's denied from about only 5 or 6 yards away from Pickford. England not doing enough to suss out the threat there, and Pickford again is screaming. He's screaming at Walker. He's screaming at the entire back line. And he barely clears that ball out. The ball's still in play. France collect it again. They go forward. It's another cross into the box from Antoine Griezmann, and it goes to Giroud again, just like clockwork. Just like clockwork. And this time Pickford can do nothing about it. Giroud heads it in at the near post. It looks like it had deflected off of Maguire's shoulder. So, ouch. Maguire missing a header that maybe could have won the match for England, as well as having a goal go in his own net off a deflection, off of another player on the opposing team from a header. And then just seconds after, Pickford was trying to get his side to help him out at the back after making that huge save, and it just was all for naught. It was all for nothing just because France did the same thing again, and Giroud found the back of the net. And I think in that 5-minute window, it was a defensive failure from England. It really was. There's only so much certain players can do, but when the rest of the team lets down in a certain area of the pitch, goalkeepers are not supermen. Theo Hernandez made a stupid challenge in the box. Absolutely reckless challenge. Gifts England a second penalty. If you're giving away 2 penalties in a game, you're trying to lose. That's all I have to say. Yes, it's a penalty. It's a penalty. He shoves him. He shoves Mason Mount in the box. You can't be doing that. But Harry Kane, he couldn't score. He skies his effort. It looks like he was trying to place that into the roof of the net, and this time, unlike the first spot kick that got past his Tottenham teammate, it wasn't meant to be, and that was really what sunk England in the end. It would have leveled the game, possibly brought it to extra time, or gave us a very cagey end last 15 minutes of this half, and then extra time, but it wasn't meant to be, and France held on. So I think for England, this is a very frustrating way to get eliminated because this match felt winnable, and I think over the course of 90 minutes, you can maybe argue based on the on-the-field play, England were maybe the better side who had the better chances. And in most tournaments where England bow out, they shit the bed in one way or the other. But this feels like it was a match that was like a big opportunity lost. It's the kind of game where England fans can be proud of the overall performance, just the closing out, the finishing was off. And a little bit of bad luck. A little bit of bad luck with some refereeing calls as well. I wasn't a big fan of the officiating in this game. But France just know how to get it done. And it's looking like Didier Deschamps might actually just troll his way to a 3rd World Cup title for this nation.